Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. Got another fun one for you today. We're doing an unboxing of the Team Associated B74.1. So this is a brand new 10th scale electric four-wheel drive race buggy that just came out, I think today or yesterday, something like that, in the last couple days. It is an update to their B74, which was a very popular race buggy, of course. And I've got a brand new box in front of us. So the first thing you may notice is that there's no picture of the buggy on the face of the box. Rather unusual. I don't think there's ever been a Team Associated box that did not have a picture of the vehicle. And the reason for that is because they use a single box for both versions. So yes, the B74.1 comes in two versions. The regular B74.1, which is an AstroTurf carpet high traction buggy, and then the D version, which is their dirt version. Now that is a change from the B74, which only came in one version. Definitely when you buy one of these, make sure you double check which one you're buying, because there's only one little barcode here that will tell you what you've got. Single box, two different versions. Make sure you buy the right one. So this sells for $399.99 here in the United States. That is a drop in price from the Team Associated B74. Pretty much matches the price of the 22X4. Team Associated's biggest competitor is TLR, Team Losi Racing. And so it is interesting to see that they have dropped the price a bit. So there are some changes. We'll get into them. Hopefully I can remember most of them. But yeah, it is a modification. A lot of just kind of little updates here and there on the B74 platform. I did own one of those. I also owned a B64. Very familiar with this line of vehicles. I also have a 22X4, so it'll be interesting to see what changes they have compared to the TLR. And we're going to do an unboxing. Quick look at what's going on. Center diff will come in the dirt version. The carpet comes with the slipper. So maybe we shouldn't look at that side. B74. So I've got the B74.1. My local track is carpet, and so this is definitely going to fit my track a little bit better. Some changes: lower shock towers, smaller shock bodies. Basically get the weight down low, not roll quite as much. They updated the little steering rack or Ackerman bar. That was a popular upgrade to the B74, this +3 thingy. It did have some problems with bump steer, where the shocks would basically droop down too low, affect bump steer, and then so that is an update. They include an Esc tray, nice to see, rather than having to mount the Ec directly to the chassis. They did change the battery strap a little bit. They do have low LCG LiPo body battery posts, and the main changes are actually on the rear end. New rear arms, hub carriers, different drive shafts. There are some differences between the carpet and the dirt version on the rear end, but yeah, so most of the changes kind of like the B6.2. Most of the improvements I think are a little more on the carpet side. So in the US, dirt, pretty much reigns supreme, but carpet tracks, maybe AstroTurf a little bit, but for the most part, carpet tracks are gaining in popularity, and so I think Team Associated kind of went with the decision to make a dedicated carpet and AstroTurf vehicle. So here's the body. I don't think it actually changed, so let me know if they did or not. This feels fairly thin. This might be the lightweight body for carpet. I don't know what it is for dirt. Here we go. What? There are, oh, here we go. Bag 2. I thought there were no labels here. So these look like the arms. I believe the front arms uses the pill system, of course. I don't think there's really any changes to the A and B blocks, but the C and D blocks, they did actually go with kind of a lower roll center. That was one of the main setup changes people found out with the B74. You like to run the pills, everything down low, even on the carpet cars. So I think what they did was basically update the C and D blocks to kind of drop everything down. Get you a little more adjustments around the area that you're going to run the actual hinge pins. Speaking of hinge pins, there they are, steel hinge pins, perfectly smooth. I don't see anything different there. So that's pretty much it. Oh, I guess this would be the front and the rear arms. I believe the rear arms are basically symmetrical. You can flip them back and forth. They did update those. I think they're longer, but somebody let me know what else they changed. Shock towers are also, I think, 2 millimeters lower. It does have the adjustable diff heights, which is a nice difference maker from the 22X4. The 22X4 has fixed differential positions, but these are made of aluminum, a little bit heavier, and that is the trade-off you'll make. Sway bars front and rear. These look like, oh, I'm sorry, these are shock standoffs, but yeah, Here are the different diff mount locations, different inserts to basically set your diff heights. So this looks like front and rear shock towers. Here's the wing, fairly thick wing. I don't think that's a lightweight wing, which wouldn't last very long. Here we go with some 15K fluid. I assume these are for front and rear differentials because the carpet version comes with a center slipper. Here is the battery strap. So different servo horns for all the various sizes, 23, 24, 25 tooth. Looks like the center differential mount or motor mount. I'm not really sure which of those that is. Probably the center diff mount. Some ball studs and then some hardware, wheel nuts, all that kind of thing. I think this is a servo mount here. Moving on to this bag, bag 11, which looks like the shocks. So shock fluid wise, I assume this would be different from the dirt and the carpet version. Looks like we got 35 weight and what is that, 50 weight. So 50 weight up front, 35 weight in the rear. Machined Delrin shock pistons, X-rings, really nice. Pretty much same shocks type design as before, although they are a little bit shorter. Titanium nitride coated shafts, silicone O-rings, I believe. So yeah, a little bit of black grease there. Not too much else. A lot of different shock cup heights depending on what type of ride height you run at. And then spring wise, I think on the carpet it's red up front and blue in the rear. Dirt, I believe, is like yellow up front and blue in the rear. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I recall. These are the sway bar mounts, pretty sure. So 2mm up front and rear on the carpet. Dirt, I think it's like 1.3, 1.4. Spur gear here. So they did change the spur gear and slipper. So it's got this kind of octagon type thingy going on. I think they call it the Octolock. So kind of still has that octagon lock plus these little fingers or nubs or whatever you want to call them that kind of stick out, lock it in place a little bit more. They are kind of this brownish beige material here. The slipper plates, nothing too fancy about the slipper plates. They're not grooved or drilled or anything, just kind of plain old slipper plates. Revised spring. So yeah, all new slipper if you run a slipper clutch. Here are the turnbuckles. I don't think there are any changes here. Look like your standard like 1/8 inch or whatever turnbuckles that Associated's always been using. Open ball cup, so you can stick a 2mm hex driver in there, remove your ball studs. Nice feature. Team Associated ball studs tend to be one of the better ones on the market. Interesting, they mount or they package the chassis along with the side guards and the center spine or center stiffeners. So the chassis, I think, is pretty much the same geometry, but they did drill some additional holes, I think, to mount an ESC plate. Other than that, not too much of a change there. Kind of this nice sort of bronze or magnesium type color. What we got here, bag 8, which looks like the inserts for the rear hubs. So these are all new rear hubs. Very similar design to the B74. They did change the plastics a little bit. They used to use kind of like a flathead screw. Now they use a button head screw. But other than that, pretty much the same as before. I don't think there's any changes with these hinge pins, or they use just kind of a hinge pin with a nut on the other end to lock it in place. So they are captured. Adjustable rear hub height as before, so you can get different ride heights. So that's one of the main things that this buggy features. A lot of adjustments, ride height, wheel hub height, diff height, to give you a wide range of adjustments for different running conditions. So generally carpet, AstroTurf, you're running really low ride heights. Dirt, you're running a little bit higher, and you need to adjust the hubs and the diffs to match. So another change, these are the diff housings, and I believe these are the center drive shafts. Yeah, it looks like a front and rear center drive shaft. I do not believe the center mount is adjustable. It's just kind of a single fixed location. Aluminum little sleeves for your center drive shafts. So yeah, nice little design overall. We got the steering knuckles, spindles, 9 degrees for carpet. I think dirt is the same, someone correct me if I'm wrong. They did update the steering arm, so they are slightly different geometry, I assume, for the Ackerman, basically, I don't know what you call it, arcing. And then, yeah, so aluminum spindle carriers with the plastic spindles. And then it looks like the front drive shafts, I don't think there's any changes there. CVAs, although there is like a, I don't know, LCD or low constant velocity drive shaft option. Here we go. What is this? Looks like, I don't know, body mounts. Okay, so here's the +3mm Ackerman bar right there. That has been updated. Steering posts. Looks like you have the option for flat mount body, you know, sort of Velcro style body mount system. I don't know if there's one with body posts, maybe not. And then these look like the differentials. So steel gears, they do make a composite or plastic version. I think it drops something like 12-13 grams. So if you're running spec class, definitely an option to look at. They did update the drive shaft, the out drives a little bit. That was one issue with the B74 at full compression. Basically, the out drives would hit the CVAs and basically chip. So you always had to like run extra limiters in the shocks. I assume they solved that with the B74.1 because that was a known issue. Plastic diff housings, I don't think any change as before. Paper gaskets there, which is nice. Not every brand out there uses that. And then here are the wheel hexes. So rear wheel hexes, I think they're 5mm on the dirt version, 6mm on the carpet version. Interesting. I'm curious if that's because this is a little bit more of like a carpet vehicle or AstroTurf vehicle. For those of you that are not familiar, Schumacher makes the most popular carpet tires and AstroTurf tires pretty much. The offset is off by like 1/4 millimeter or so in the rear. Fronts are off by like 2mm, so that is interesting to see. I believe the fronts are 5mm, although I will have to double check. Here's the manual. You get a little turnbuckle wrench there, some 3M tape for your servo, some Velcro to mount the body. I'm not going to open that. You guys don't need to see what is in the manual. And it looks like they probably made a mistake with the manual. So this has kind of happened on the last couple kits. They had like a little addendum to explain some things that maybe the manual got wrong. So looks like bag 3 step 2 and bag 7 step 1. You'll want to refer to this diagram. Maybe they use different part numbers. Not exactly sure what's up there. Here is the wheel hex. Shows you the 6mm. Of course, do not over tighten this little screw. That is a common issue. People basically break and snap that screw. They just clamp on, so they don't need to be super tight. So I don't know, maybe some extra material there. Short and long eyelet plus 2mm, and then the sway bar instructions. So here is the kit setup. Nice actually that they print this on a separate sheet. I wonder if they missed that from the manual. If not, it's always nice to be able to refer to what you're actually building, just know all the exact adjustments, because really easy to get wrong when you're building. So having a separate printout is always helpful. So yeah, that's it. The Team Associated B74.1 unboxing. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? This kind of snuck up on me a little bit. Was not really expecting one to come out. You know, Team Associated was kind of quiet for a little while, but in the last few days they announced and released a bunch of stuff. So they actually announced the T6.2, the SC6.2. So those are the stadium truck and short course vehicles, 2-wheel drive, of course. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to pick one of those up, but we'll see. So I'm going to spend the next few days putting this together, and it should be fun. So look for a build review of this soon. Definitely thanks to you for watching. Hit the subscribe, share, like button. Look for more videos soon, and see you in the next one.